exhaust fan with its LED light for my shower have arrived, so it's time for me to fit them in the bathroom ceiling. I bought this 200mm diameter exhaust fan off eBay. It's got this 100mm outlet that I can connect ducting to up in the roof above the ceiling, and it's got a one-way flap, so in winter when the winds are blowing here, the cold air won't come down into the room. I selected a square model to match my shower head. This is my rainwater shower head. It's going to go there, and I can't fit the light above it, otherwise I'll throw a shadow. So I've got to come out. So I'm going to come out the width of the light from the shower head and put it there. That way it will draw air from both the shower and the bath and provide light for both of them. So that's where I want my exhaust fan light to go. But before I cut out the hole, I need to get up in the roof and make sure I'm clearing the battens up above. Getting up into my roof for an exercise like this is where having installed a walkway and a skylight really pays off. Just makes the job really easy. Straight away I can see I can't put that fan where I'd planned to put it, because the centre line of where I want to put it is directly underneath that bottom truss member. So I'm going to have to move the exhaust fan to another location somewhere here would fit. Because the exhaust fan can't go there, because the bottom of the roof truss goes straight through there, I'm going to have to bring it out here somewhere. Checking with the tape, straight away I can see that moving that shower exhaust fan sideways 90 degrees from where I first wanted it, and putting it there will fit. And some clever bloke, when he was doing the battens on the ceiling and putting the extra ones in, left a space here for exhaust fan. I'd forgotten I'd done that. Because I'm getting close to applying for an interim occupation certificate, so Brenda and I can move into the house before it's finally finished, I contacted my local council building inspector to check with him about what was and wasn't required for that piece of paper, because with limited time and funds, particularly with the Christmas break coming up, I didn't want to be spending time and money doing things that I didn't need to do at this stage. I know I've got to get the electrics approved and certified by my licensed electrician, and I've got to get a little bit of final plumbing work done, and all the plumbing on the house certified, and the plumber will put the gas hot water service in. I've got to get the bathroom finished so that we've got at least got a shower. I know I can get away without having the bath at this stage, which is a fairly big expense. I thought that I would need to put those stairs in, which I showed you in the last episode, and in talking with my inspector, he said no, I don't need to do that as long as I block the opening off so no one can fall down them, and the ramp will do for interim access. But what I've got to do instead is I've got to put the wire balustrading around this veranda so no one can fall off it before we can move into the house. So I'll be leaving the stairs now and starting to work on the wire balustrading, maybe in the next episode when I finish the bathroom. What's been working for me with tiling the bathroom is to cut tiles the day before and get about 20 ready. Much more than that, you end up needing to have those cut tiles on the walls before you can cut the other ones. So I cut a batch of tiles and I get everything ready to go, and then the next day, first thing in the morning while I'm fresh and I've got all my energy and my brain's at its least dull, then I'll lay those tiles and I'll do about 2 to 3 hours tiling, and that's it. I've learnt to then walk away and leave it and come back the next day. So I'm stringing it out and it's taking way longer than a pro would, and if you just went straight at it, you'd probably get it done in about a quarter of the time that I'm taking. But I've got lots of time and I want to do a good job, so that's the method that I'm using. I'm taking it slow. Let's have a look at where things are up to with the tiling. It looks pretty messy at the moment in the laundry, and it is because this is where I'm mixing up my tiling adhesive. But this will all clean up. All the tiles are laid. I'm hoping that I'll have enough floor tiles left over to be able to put a half strip along that wall as a skirting. The toilet's coming along real well. I've laid the first row of tiles there. That's as high as they're going. I haven't done this side because I need to get an edging strip that's put in place when you tile to just blend that edge in, and I haven't been able to find one thick enough yet. Our toilet's arrived, and so I've been able to do some of the preparatory work in getting that in. It's what's called a back to the wall toilet. It goes right back against the wall, and you can see I've had to move that tap. The edge of the toilet was right up there, so luckily I just was able to cut that sheet of gyprock out, or waterproof board rather, and cut that out, move the tap over just by bending the pipe. It's only on plastic pipe, and I'll have to cut the floor drain and get the plumber to move the sewer about an inch or 25 mil so that it'll line up when the tiles are on. I'm going to wait. I'm not going to cut that hole until I've laid that bottom row of tiles, and then I can put the toilet right up against it. But I'm happy with how this room's going so far. Looks like a friggin' tile shop here. Here's the bathroom. Once again, it looks messy, but it's a messy job. I've got the majority of the main wall done, and I'm very happy with how that's coming out. And I'm ready to put in the bottom row of tiles there once I take that this board off. You can see how the wedges are doing a good job. And this looks messy here, but there's going to be a mirror here, and it's going to have a light on it. So that's why that hole's in the wall on a PowerPoint. I'm going to have to put a mounting board there with the same hole in it, so I can put the electrical gear in there, and then the mirror over the top. So that's why those tiles are cut all unevenly, because the mirror and its mounting board will go right over the top of it, so it will look neat. And to switch the light, we'll use that switch there. Today I'll lay the tiles there around that PowerPoint and up. And I can't do that corner at the moment because I'm waiting on getting the right edging, as I said, for the toilet, and I need the same edging there to dress that corner. I've got all the floor tiles in here laid, and somebody mentioned, I saw something in the background that a tile was uneven. I think they were meaning here, where I've had to cut the tiles, because there's a strip there where the levels differ between the shower and its fall into the drain and the floor outside where the glass is going to be. This is becoming standard in houses now, is to put the shower a little bit stepped down below the floor to make sure that the water can't get out onto the general floor and it has to go into the drain. And I'm happy with how this is coming along. Like I said, it looks messy, but I'll get there. I've got another issue up the top with the tiles. I found it almost impossible to cut tiles dead evenly to match the corners. And if I was to do this again, what I would do is I would not put my cornices, or as you Yanks call them, crown mouldings, I would not put them on. I'd put the tiles right up to the sheeting, the roof sheets first, and then I'd put the cornices onto the gyprock and onto the tiles, and you'd get a perfect finish. But as I put them on, I had a look at putting cornices, a second cornice over the top, and I still would have had to remove the old cornice, so it would have been a nightmare job. I'm just going to dress that top edge with a finished strip, and I'll show you that when I get that shortly.